Hey, it's Newtine. Today we're going to talk about our slim down menu and expectations. So when I was initially setting this up, I was doing it for myself and I was going to invite people to do it with me. I thought, what is the main motivation and intention and expectation for this? And so really it's designed to lower the inflammation to the body and to make some changes to our physiology and free up some energy so that energy can be diverted back to cleaning house and resting and restoring and repairing and just making the body feel better on the inside. So that's really going to be our intent. Last time we did it, people did see pretty good weight loss, and they also saw a lot of inches lost and inflammation was dialed down. So I'm really excited to see what happens this time. I know it's going to be good, but with the word slim down, there is going to be some hunger involved, because if we do the same things we've always done, we're going to get the same things that we've always gotten. And so the first 2 days, and that's why I've kind of designed it over the weekend, it's going to be probably quite a bit different than what you're used to doing. But I've given health hacks and hunger hacks and things that you can do to kind of overcome that initially. But after the first 2 days, I think you're going to really notice how much better that you feel. And so I want you to think about this. Think about how it feels when it's 100 degrees outside. That's pretty hot, right? Well, we run at almost 100 degrees, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for years on end, sometimes, 80, 90 if we're lucky. And so the body is like a well-oiled machine, and it doesn't matter what you throw at it. It will do the best with whatever you give it to try to help keep you chugging along. And so we're going to just give our body a little bit of a break and start giving it a few good things and help it have the energy to divert back to making us feel better and to be restored in our health. But if you look at the body, we're literally just a series of tubes. You think about your eyes are tubes, your ears are tubes, your nose are tubes, your mouth and your esophagus is tubes, your stomach is tubes, your heart is a tube, your colon is a tube, your small intestines, large intestines, your reproductive organs. We're literally tubes from the top to the bottom. And so what happens is when we put in things that slow the flow down, we end up becoming like a ballpark Frank. We plump when we're chugging along at our 100 degrees on the inside. And so they've done studies and they're able to keep cells alive for 50 years just in a petri dish. And how they do it is by giving those cells nutrients and good flow in and good flow out. So that's really what we're just going to take it down to the basics. We're going to give our body nutrients, and we're going to help good things flow in and bad things flow out. So that's why it's really plant heavy for this 7 days, because it's much, much easier to digest plants than it is meat and cheese and pasta. And so by doing that, it'll be easily digested and easily assimilated, which means turning those plants and the food into living tissue. And then we're also going to talk about the flow out, how to keep our colon going, how to help with the detoxing that's going to happen. And detox, that word just means a period of time when you rest from ingesting harmful substances or beverages for however long so you can improve your health. So that's basically what we're going to be doing for 7 days. We're going to be doing some timed eating. We're going to be concentrating on getting good nutrients in and keeping the flow going. So let's just get right into the nuts and bolts. So this is not a ketosis plan. This is more of a plant-based intermittent fasting 7-day plan and reset that we're going to be doing. It takes weeks and sometimes even months to get into ketosis, because a lot of us are really heavy carbohydrate eaters, and it takes a while to switch the brain and the liver and to get all that out of your system. But what we are going to be doing is we're going to be trying to have an eating window from about 6 to 8 hours. And in the beginning, you may not be able to do that. It might be a 12-hour window, and that's fine. You can do that too, and then just try to gradually, maybe 1 hour a day. Like if you start out at 12 hours, the next day do 11 hours and then 10 hours, but we're shooting for a 6 to 8 hour window of eating and a 14 to 16 hour window of resting from digestion. So if you went to a longevity clinic, one of the things that they would give you would be human growth hormone. The great thing about the next 7 days when we do this fasting plan is the body naturally produces the HGH, or the human growth hormone. And in addition to that, it actually stimulates the muscles to build and repair. I know it sounds counterintuitive. I'm not eating as much, so why would my body want to build and repair muscle tissue? Well, it stimulates that human growth hormone, and so the body then has energy to build lean muscle tissue, as well as it's going to lower the inflammation and lower our appetite. So when we eat a heavy carbohydrate diet, and even if it's fruit, what happens, for every 1 gram of carbohydrate that you eat, the body has to store 3 grams of water. So we end up hanging on to a lot of additional or extra fluids. So by doing this intermittent fasting with low glycemic or low carbohydrate foods, we're going to allow the body to get rid of that water. And I think you're going to feel much, much different on the inside. And so we're going to be noticing, especially the first 2 days, the difference between our appetite and our hunger. And appetite is just when you go stand in front of the pantry or the refrigerator and it's full and you can't find anything you want to eat. So you call Grubhub. And hunger is when you open the refrigerator, you go in the pantry and you're so hungry you'll just eat croutons. So we're not going to get to the point of starvation, but we are going to have an opportunity to reset and to kind of lower the volume to the appetites in the body and just really get control over that instead of it controlling us. And so what happens if we have a hunger sneak snack attack over the 7 days? Well, first thing I would like for you to try, and I've listed all these things on the menus that I've sent out, is I want you to try just drinking a big glass of warm water and wait 30 minutes to see how you feel. Because many times people think that they're hungry and they're really thirsty because we walk around chronically dehydrated, like some 90% of the population does. And so by adding that water in and then just giving the body a little opportunity to rest and let that water do its magic, then we can see if we're really hungry. And if you are really hungry, just eat a snack. Have 1 or 2 bites and then wait another 30 minutes. Don't eat a huge amount right away. Just try to work with that hunger and that appetite and really become acquainted with what's going on in the body. The other thing that you can try is you can have unlimited amounts of tea, unlimited amounts of coffee, unlimited amounts of broth. You can drink those things all day long, sweetened with stevia. You know, if you want to put some coconut milk or something like that in it, do that to where it tastes good. Just be drinking that all day long, and that will also really help. The other thing you can try, it's not going to be popular, but take a walk. Go out and take a walk, because when you're exercising, you're energizing the body, you're oxygenating the tissues, and the number one nutrient that the body needs is oxygen. And so by oxygenating the tissues, that will take care of your hunger. And then the other thing is take a nap. So this is a 7-day program where you are going to be diverting a tremendous amount of energy back to the body, and it will want to detoxify, or it will want to clean house. And so you may have to nap a little bit. You may have to rest a little bit more. You know, most of us just run on fumes. So for these 7 days, give yourself an opportunity to rest and repair and digest less. So let's talk about the menu. I want to go through the 7 days really quickly, just in case you want to go shopping. And then as we get closer, I'm going to send out actual recipes. But on day 1, we're going to do OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. And some people say OMAD to go mad. That's really not true. But what we're going to do is we're going to fast till dinner. But the good news is at dinner time, you get to eat as much as the food on the list as you want. You can eat infinite amounts of the food for dinner. But in the morning, if you're used to eating breakfast, I would suggest that you start out with like either a warm tea with stevia or inulin in it and maybe a little creamer, or you can even do vegetable broth, or if you want to do bone broth, that's fine as well, or coffee or tea. Just make sure that you make it taste good so you'll want to do it. So if you need to put a lot of sweetener and a lot of plant-based creamer, that's perfectly fine. And then lunch, we're also going to fast, but if you just feel like I can't do that, you can go ahead and eat vegetable broth with vegetables in it, just no noodles. You can have as many cups of that as you want, because that's still kind of keeping you in a fasting mode. And then for dinner, what we're going to do is we're going to either do a salad or veggie wraps or lettuce wraps. And I like those better because I feel like when I eat a salad, I get cheated for some reason. And so what I do is I take the jicama wraps and then I put the lettuce, and romaine lettuce is really good because it's high in iron and it also has protein in it. And then I put my sprouts on top, and then I load it down with vegetables and avocados and olive oil and vinegar. And you can literally eat as many of these or a big bowl of salad as you want until you're 100% full, as long as it's within your compacted window. We also get to have dessert. I love chocolate, so I put chocolate on there. It is very high in polyphenols, but make sure it's at least 72% dark chocolate, and this one happens to be sweetened with hazelnut, toffee, and then the dark chocolate. If you don't like that, you can do any kind of a nut-based flavored yogurt, that's fine. Just keep it within the window. And then on day 2, you're gonna wake up a little bit hungry because that's gonna probably be a big shift for most of you. So you can have as many berries as you want covered in a nut yogurt and a couple tablespoons of the hemp seeds so we can get our protein in there. And then also sweeten it with inulin, and you can have as much as you want. So just eat away. And then for lunch, we're gonna do the lettuce wraps again, 1 cup of broth in addition, and I just put mine in a thermos. And then you get to do the cauliflower and the broccoli rice, and I just prepare this ahead of time and keep it in a bowl in the refrigerator, and then that way it's just ready for me to take with me. And a lot of times, because I'm in a hurry and I'm on the road, I'll just throw it all in a bowl and eat it all together instead of like a lettuce wrap. So I'll have my rice and my lettuce and my jicama and all my veggies and olive oil and all of that together and just eat it on the go. And then for dinner on day 2, we're gonna do a mono food meal, which is just a 1 food meal. And the reason being is when we eat a lot of different kinds of foods, they all digest at different rates. And so by just doing a mono food meal, it gives the body a little extra rest from digestion. And we're gonna do sweet potatoes or yams, or also you can do the Japanese sweet potatoes. And you can eat as many of these as you want. So on this, when you're doing your eating, eat away. I mean, it's foods that are low glycemic, low calorie, very nutritious. Eat until you're full. But for the sweet potatoes, what I like to do is I just wash them up, and then I spray them with olive oil cooking spray, and then I roll them in some coarse salt, and I bake them in a cast iron skillet until they're done. And then you want to let them cool down or even refrigerate them, and then when you eat them, you want to heat them up because they have more nutrients that way. But literally on day 2, you can eat as many of these sweet potatoes as you want. And what I like to use for the topping, you can either use olive oil, but I get this, it's called Mykonos cultured vegan butter. It's really, really good. And so you can put as much of this as you want on it, salt and pepper. So that'll be day 2. Then day 3, you're gonna wake up hungry again. And so you can either do the 1 to 2 cups of berries with the yogurt, or you can do a protein smoothie. I'm gonna show you the cheater thing that I do. So I like cocoa because it's yummy. And so I just scoop out some of the top, and then I put my berries right in there, and I add my inulin right in here, and then I also add my hemp seeds, And then because I don't want to take another container in the car with me, I'll just add my protein powder in here. And then I'll put the lid on, I'll shake it up, I'll turn it upside down in my cooler, and I'll probably be doing a couple of these during the 7 days. So this is just my cheater way, so I don't have to make a protein drink. But if you want to do a protein drink, or you'd rather just do the berries and the yogurt, you can do that. I just do it for ease. And then for lunch, we get a snack. We get to do an apple and some nut butter, except for peanuts, because peanuts are not really a nut, they're a legume, and they cause gas, and they're just not that good for you. So you can do any kind of a nut butter as long as it's not too high in carbohydrates. My husband and I really like this maple almond base culture nut butter. So you can take your apple with you if you need to. I peel mine, I put it in a baggie, I squeeze some lemon on it, and I take my almond butter with me and I eat it on the go. So you get a snack. And then we're gonna do the lettuce wraps and broth for lunch. Just put your broth in a thermos. Remember, you can eat or you can drink coffee and tea and broth all day long. We're gonna do broth for lunch. And then for dinner, on the third day, we're gonna have 4 ounces of white meat. And that can be shrimp or any kind of fish, anything, chicken, anything except for pork and red meat. So you're gonna have 4 ounces of that. You're gonna have your veggies and your avocado, or if you don't like avocados, you can do guac. And if you don't like guacamole or avocados, I would recommend that you use tahini. So, or even nut butter if you want. And also, I want you to add, if you like them, Kalamata olives, because they're high in fat, they're really good in nutrients, they're really great to help satiate, they'll make you feel full. So we're gonna do the 4 ounces of white meat, we're gonna do the veggies, we're gonna do the guac and avocado, cauliflower and broccoli rice. You get to have your dessert. Now on day 4, so I would recommend on day 3 that you eat until you're really, really full, because on day 4, we're gonna get up and we're fasting for breakfast. And so for lunch, we're gonna have 2 hard-boiled eggs, or eggs, however you like them. I'm not at home, so I do hard-boiled eggs. Just get a free-range, pasture-raised egg. Look how pretty those are. That's how they're supposed to look. It's when the chickens get to eat, you know, their naturally ripe diet bugs or whatever it is that they eat. And so we're gonna be doing, for lunch, 2 hard-boiled eggs, or eggs however you like them, avocado, veggies. Now remember, when we're eating protein, we really wanna do the balsamic or the apple cider vinegar. It's gonna help break down that protein. And if you don't like that, find a low-carb salad dressing and put that on there. You get to have your snack on day 4, which is your apple and your almond butter. The lowest glycemic apple would be a green apple, but just get an apple that you like. And then for dinner, we're gonna do miracle noodles. And I'm not sure if you've ever heard of these or not, but they're very low glycemic noodles. Actually, the carbohydrates are 3 grams. They have 10 calories per serving. And so you'll cook these miracle noodles up, or if you're in a hurry, as always, like I am, you can buy the pad thai miracle noodles. You'll do this, you'll put broth in it, you'll add as many vegetables as you want, and then you're gonna add some hemp seeds as well, and you can just eat that until your heart is content. You get to have dessert. Day 5, we're gonna get up, we're gonna do our berries again, our cocoa. I'm probably gonna do the cheater way, where I put protein in here and my berries and all of that, just because it's easier for me since I drive so much. And then on day 5, we're gonna do our wraps again, our broth with our hemp seed. Dinner, again, we get to have the miracle noodles and the veggies and all that. And I'm gonna be sending you information and actually the recipes of how I would recommend it. These are recommendations. It's not rules. We're just recommending. So if you fall off the bandwagon, it's okay. Just don't overeat too much or eat bad things in an excessive amount, and just get right back on. So day 6, we're gonna fast again. So on day 5, you'll want to be sure at night that you really eat until your heart's content. And then for lunch, eat a lot. That is our veggie wraps again, or salad, or however you want to do it, with our eggs. And then for dinner, we're going to do our mono food meal again. Eat till your heart's content. You get to have your dessert, and also as it gets a little more intense as we go along, you can have a palm full of raw nuts. I think Brazil nuts are amazing because they have so much selenium in them. They're really high in fiber and protein. But if you want to do almonds or cashews or whatever, I would say Brazil nuts, pecans and walnuts and almonds would be the top ones that you can eat. But if you're really just like, this is difficult for me, I am hungry, go ahead and have a snack, or at least try to drink something warm before you fall off the bandwagon. And on day 7, we're going to do our berries and our yogurt plus our protein powder. Same for lunch, and then the last day will be our mono food meal again. You're going to become very acquainted with how your appetite will want to push and pull and cajole you into eating things that soothe the soul and soothe the body, but not necessarily good for the body. So as you look at the schedule, if we're fasting for breakfast, just make sure at dinner time that you're eating enough so you're not starving when you get up in the morning. And then also on the sheet that I'm sending out, in case you're worried about protein, I kind of list the protein subs, the health hacks, and what happens when we have an opportunity to detox our body. Again, I'm going to be giving you all kinds of recipes coming up. We're going to be talking about how to help the body detox and what we need to do for exercise. So until next time, be blessed.